and like I've always said in my counseling sessions, it's not necessarily an issue of can you forgive a cheating partner. Of course, you can forgive a cheating partner. It's something that is doable. It's something that you can do. The question is, should you forgive a cheating partner? That's the question. Now, there are a number of issues, and one thing I would like to make clear, first of all, is that there are two types of people that you can forgive: the one that asks for forgiveness and the one that doesn't. The one that doesn't ask for forgiveness doesn't deserve your forgiveness and reconciliation. The reason why I'm emphasizing on reconciliation is because every time we look at forgiveness, we automatically assume that we are talking about forgiveness. So, which simply means if a man does something to a woman and comes to a woman, the only thing that they're going to ask for is forgiveness. If they are asking for forgiveness, the only thing they're going to come and say is, I'm sorry for what I did, forgive me, and whatever. And if a woman says, I forgive you, automatically the person that has done what they've done assume that what the woman is actually trying to say is that I want to take you back. Same goes with the man. Just by virtue of him telling her that I forgive you doesn't mean that he's saying that we need to reconcile. Sometimes you can forgive people and let them go. Sometimes you can forgive people and let them live their lives. Sometimes you can forgive people and let them have a part of their life that they want to have. So the first person that you don't even need to reconcile with after forgiving is the person that doesn't ask for forgiveness. You're forgiving that one for your own good. You're forgiving that one for yourself. You're not forgiving that one for anybody else. You're not even forgiving them for them. You are doing it for yourself. So when you come to a point where you realize that this person is not asking for forgiveness or doesn't see anything wrong, and the people who do that are people who are not self-aware, people who don't know when they mess up, people who don't know when they've hurt someone. Why? Because they will always put up this defensive wall. Even if someone cheated on you, they will try to defend the reason why they cheated. And you know what the most reason is most of the time? It was your fault. It was your fault because I've been talking to you about this thing, but you just tell me you're busy with the baby. You just tell me you're tired. You just tell me you've been doing chores at home. So this is the reason why I walked out and found another girl who did this. Oh no, the reason why I did this is because as a man you didn't take good care of me. It's because I wasn't feeling loved. It was because I wasn't feeling appreciated. No. If you went out and did what you did, you must own up and say the reason why I did is because of my own selfish desires. Those are the only reasons why I did. Why didn't I sit down and look at what she was saying? Why didn't I sit down and ask myself, if she's talking about being tired because of the baby, why don't I help with the baby when I come back? If she's talking of being tired because she was doing these chores and whatever, why don't I get her some help or stuff like that? If this is what she's complaining about, why don't I come and give her a massage or do something that's going to help her feel better instead of always feeling neglected? The reason why you're feeling that way is because the only thing you're thinking about is your feelings, is your emotions. So instead of saying why doesn't my man want to touch me, or why doesn't my man want to do this, so instead of you going about thinking about, no, it's because he's doing this with another person, so I also need to do this with another person. No, you sit down and look at it. Is there any problem that we're having? Is there any challenges that we're having? I need to sit down with him. I need to talk to him and understand the reason why this kind of relationship is not headed in the direction that we expected it to. When the two of you learn to sit down and to understand each other from the other point of view, it reduces on the cheating. Cheating increases when the only thing that you're thinking about is yourself. The only thing that you want is, this is what I want. Give me this, give me this. If you don't give me this, I'll get it from somewhere else. That is lack of, one, morals, and secondly, that is lack of discipline, and thirdly, that is being weak. If the only time, if every time you don't get something, you have to find a way to get it elsewhere, even if it means illegally, then there is a problem. And this is why, let me digress a little bit. This is why I always tell parents, don't always raise your children with a yes. Don't always raise your children with, Mommy, I want this, okay, get. Daddy, can I have this, okay, get. Every time you're raising your children with a yes, you are training them to understand that the world will never say no to you. That's the reason why when these children grow up, if they are men, they turn into men, and somebody says no to them, they end up raping these women. When somebody says no to them, they end up stealing from their jobs. When somebody says no to them, they end up forcing their way until they get what they want to get. Why? Because they got accustomed to yes every now and then growing up. So most of the time, when you see people behaving like that, even in homes, look at your partner, look at how she behaves and how he behaves. It's because where they're coming from, they never learned the word no. You must train your children to learn the word no, so that the children that they are going to have in future and the partners they are going to have in future don't suffer because of your carelessness. You don't have to say no because you don't have. Sometimes you just say no because you want them to learn that sometimes the answer will be no. You don't always have to give your children what they want just because you can afford. Sometimes learn to say no. Why? Because you are training them for society. You are training them for the world. You are training them to understand that no matter what happens in life, some people will tell you no. And when they tell you no, you must be comfortable and you must be okay with taking your losses. You can't always have your way and get your yeses, because that is not how life practically is. And so you bring this in your relationship where your partner tells you, no, I can't do this. No, I'm not whatever. Look, I'm tired. Look, I just gave birth. Look, this is what's going on with me. Look, this is what's happening. Look, I'm getting tired because of work. Look at what, and you can't understand that because you are accustomed to no one telling you no. And because you're accustomed to that, it becomes difficult. So even when you go in an institution where there are rules, you find it difficult to confine yourself to those rules. Why? Because you're not used to it. So you look around and you tell everybody, why? Why should they tell us not to leave for lunch this time? No, I can go for lunch anytime I want, as long as it's an hour, as long as it's an hour 30, as long as it's whatever. And you're always going to find a reason to get out of the regulations that you have been given. So when you bring that home in your family, then that begins to lead to cheating. Why? Because when she says no or he says no and there's nothing that you can do about it, you are going to find a way out. And the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go to your friends and you're going to talk to your boys and tell your boys, guys, this is what's happening with my wife. Can you imagine? I can't have this. This is what my girl is doing. This is how she's behaving towards me. It's this number of weeks now. It's been this number of months now. She's just telling me this, whatever. And you have these friends of yours who are very shallow in their thinking. And this is why I always emphasize, choose the kind of friends that you hang out with. Friends that will lead you in the direction you need to go, and not friends that will mislead you with their shallow thinking and their very confined understanding of what life is and the world at large. And when you go to these friends of yours, they begin to tell you, why are you even suffering, bro? I mean, there's all these girls around. Look at whatever. Just go do whatever. Just go do whatever. And same thing happens to the girl. Well, he's not touching you. He's not doing that. Come on, you're still young. Why this behavior? Don't you have your blood running through and whatever? How many men do you have? You don't need to have a relationship with them. Just go there. Get yourself. Do whatever. Feel whatever you have to feel. Relieve yourself, as it were, and then come back so that you can come down. Your blood is running and all such kind of thing. And you have all this nonsensical kind of approach that you get, and you get that advice and you go and practice it, and you come and lose a relationship. And once that is discovered, you come back and ask for forgiveness. You are not asking for forgiveness because you're sorry. You're asking for forgiveness because you have realized that what you did has now been discovered. So if you do not regret your actions, and if you have no sense of self-awareness, you are going to apologize so you can continue in your kind of state. You are going to apologize so you can continue misleading this person, so you can continue doing that thing. You know, most of the time when people apologize that have no regret or no remorse, they only look for a better way to cheat. A better way to hurt you with the same thing that they're telling themselves, this is what happened last time, and now this time I'm going to be a little more careful. I've been caught before, but I'm going to be a little more careful so that I don't do this again, I don't do this again, I don't do this again, I don't do this again. A pathological cheater is going to find a way of not doing the same thing that they did in order for them to be caught, and is going to look for ways, devise new ways in which they are going to handle that issue.